Okay, y'all. So, I've been following what's going on with Luigi Mangione, and today I've decided to discuss the fact that Josh Shapiro said that he's a coward for trying to use violence to reinforce some ideological point or whatever. But Josh Shapiro constantly votes to increase funding for law enforcement, and he doesn't give them any restrictions to use that funding for specifically nonviolent public safety purposes. He knows good and damn well that the police department has access to the 1033 program, which allows them to use that funding to purchase military weapons, which further militarizes our police departments and allows them to use military weapons on American soil, on American citizens, to silence dissent, which also increases the propensity of the police departments to view American citizens as threats and not to use public safety or peacekeeping strategies or, to enforce policy. So, Josh Shapiro's actually biting his own critique, and he uses violence as well to enforce policy for some ideological point. So he is very American in the way that he is very hypocritical and also uses violence. And the fact that he's jumping on the bandwagon to try to condemn Luigi Mangione when really Luigi is very much the representative of all Americans who are making less than $190,000 a year, who suffer under unfair tax laws, who are underpaid and overtaxed and underrepresented and overpoliced and underinsured but overcharged, and also condemned for feeling desperate, like they have no recourse because the government has also legislated themselves out of being held accountable. What we don't talk about ever is the fact that the U.S. government, since 1983, the year that I was born, has been taking money from the Social Security Administration, calling it as excess, saying that there's extra money that can be taken from Social Security, $2.9 trillion to this day, I believe it is. And they use that money for things like war and to give tax breaks to the rich. And the reason why that's such a slap in the face is because they use it to fund the military, right? So they fund the military, they buy all of these weapons for the military, and then they turn around and they say that they have extra weapons, surplus weapons. This is what the 1033 program is. So with those surplus weapons, they've taken the money from Social Security to purchase them. And then the governors, like Josh Shapiro, take the local tax dollars to fund the police departments. The police departments take those local tax dollars to purchase quote unquote excess or surplus military weapons. So the federal government has now been paid back the money that they took from Social Security, and it goes into the federal general fund, never back into the Social Security fund, right? So we're never paid back. They're talking about the Social Security program is going to go bankrupt. It's not going to have enough. They're going to start cutting benefits in 2033. Social Security recipients aren't receiving enough to keep up with the cost of living. They're living in poverty. Over 21,000 people are dying every year while they wait on excessive processing times by the Social Security Administration to process their applications. So like we have violence written into our policies every single day by politicians like Josh Shapiro. And then they have the nerve to call American citizens like Luigi Mangione, cowards, when all they have left is violence. We write our legislators, we write our governors, we write our senators, we write our assembly people, and their hands are tied. Their hands are tied by abusive policies, excessive waiting times, excessive legislative periods where nothing actually gets done. And we're told that, we have to wait and we have to pay taxes. We're held to a higher standard than our own government. Nobody talks about the fact that our government failed 5 consecutive audits. They have no idea what they've done with trillions of our dollars. Trillions. They have no idea what they've done with it. They have their credit score rating. The nation's credit score rating has dropped consecutively. It's been reevaluated by Moody's. You know, the value of the American dollars is dropping consistently, and this is all because of fiscal mismanagement by our government, who values, the well-being of the mega wealthy and these corporations over us, the proletariat, over us, the working class, the ones who pay the taxes and the bloodline, the blood life of this country that keep everything going. And then Josh Shapiro has the nerve to stand on his soapbox and call people cowards. The federal government has the nerve to want to call Luigi Mangione a terrorist and set him up for possibly the death penalty, to kill him, right? How hypocritical is this? To kill him to prove a point that we don't kill people, to prove a point in America. Like, that's where we're at. So I really think, we should do a general strike like France. What happened with them when they tried to raise the retirement age and the whole country went on strike, and they let the garbage sit on the port for, was it months? I bet you their retirement age didn't change. As much money as they stolen from us to fund the police departments and militarize them, and to fund the military, we can't outgun this government. They have made sure to pass legislation that we can't sue them without their permission. So we can't take them to court. We can't get reparations. We can't get interest on money that they owe us, like the IRS could do us if we don't pay our taxes. So the only thing left for us is to organize together. So like a general strike is what I propose. We need to stand together and say, fuck y'all. We're not paying anything. We're not going to work. We're not going to keep making this system run. We're not going to do your dirty work for you. We won't process claims. We're not going to push the paperwork. We're not going to make these things happen for you any longer unless you listen to us. Because even these mega rich people, they're getting AI off the ground. They're getting these bots together, but they haven't had it done yet. They still rely on our labor to make these things happen. So, we need to be a little bit more uncomfortable to make them be uncomfortable, to understand that we won't keep tolerating this shit. What do y'all say? Are you tired enough yet? Are you pissed off enough? Or, are we still, it is what it is, and oh well, and business as usual? Oh my God. And then one last thing. I have to give this little disclaimer. Okay. According to the 1947 Taft-Hartley Act, it's fucking illegal for me to be unions, let's talk about organizing and logistics and everything for solidarity, general strike movement, because I could be held legally responsible. This is my opinion as an individual American citizen. I'm speaking to all the rest of these other individual American citizens on social media, and I'm just disseminating legitimate factual information and expressing my opinion, and I think people should definitely do with that as they will. Because once again, the beast of the machine of this systematic, abusive, fucking violent governing system we live under won't even allow me to organize with people to say, let's have a general strike because we're fucking fed up.